Yeah, well, we weren't looking. This happened. It's 8:39 in the morning here on a rainy morning on this Thursday morning. I just said morning 3 times in a row. I apologize. Site B. It is cold, and it is the first day of the worst month of the year, Valentine's, February. Ugh, the end of candy season, though, for many of us. Thank God. No more candy, please. Yeah, so this happened. Now, what does this mean? Because it kind of slipped under the radar because we were paying so much attention to the non-story about the rumor that Hasbro was selling D&D lock, stock, and barrel to some Chinese video game company that we kind of ignored the 2 other stories that were coming in on that. It's almost like Wizards was trying to distract us so nobody noticed the 2 other stories, because other than one little mention that has since disappeared, pretty much nobody has mentioned the other 2 stories that came out of Wizards this week. Story number 1, of course, this, which relates to story number 2, that the rumor that Wizards has been sending out the brand new 2024, we can't call it OGL anymore, so open OC, creative content, SRD, rules and regulations to third parties that they have to agree to if they want to officially carry D&D 2024. That means anything old D&D will now, might fall under that. I don't know because I haven't seen it, but definitely the new D&D stuff, anything that comes out from January 1st going forward for D&D will 100% fall under this new rule regulation thingy. We haven't seen it. We don't know anything about it until last night. It was a rumor. It was a rumor that it was going around. We had some confirmation from insiders at Wizards that it wasn't a rumor, that it was true, but nobody's seen it. Nobody knows what it says, and nobody knows anything about the new third-party content licensing. I don't know what the word is anymore, but it's a thing. Until this just tippy-toed into the news and just went, if I stay perfectly still, no one will notice. And if no one will notice, nobody was going to get upset. And look, no one's noticing me because they're all angry over that thing over there. Winning. So what does this mean? You're like, well, I don't care. I could already do Dungeons and Dragons on Foundry. I can do Dungeons and Dragons on Roll20. I can do Dungeons and Dragons on, Bugbear Radio. Pretty much if it's a VTT, I can probably run D&D on it. And there's probably D&D stuff made for that D&D on the VTT. So what does this mean? That it has now arrived on the Foundry? Because it already was on the Foundry. I know it was on the Foundry because I've played D&D on the Foundry. So what does that mean? What, well, now it's official. It's official. That's the big difference. Wizards of the Coast is saying, yes, you are officially now the VTT for Dungeons and Dragons, at least for today. We're going to let you do that. It's officially supported. You can have it. It's not like third party. You are now officially recognized. What does this mean? Don't know, really. Because they're there's this like our team and partnership. Excited to work together to build the modern, innovative, powerful 2-set for D&D online. Capabilities of Foundry combined with the iconic stories of D&D, immersive. We're going to do D&D 5th edition stuff first. We're going to do the last D&D adventure, and then we'll do all the new stuff. So look for it to come out today, actually. Well, and here's some pictures of it. We're going to refine the character sheet to fit all the new stuff. They've refined all the other things. Everything now is up to date with the most current official D&D rules. Official. Just remember this, just at least for today, it is now the official home of the Dungeons and Dragons virtual tabletop universe. But OGGM, what happens to the VTT that Wizards of the Coast was working on to be the D&D thingy? And the cross promotion between D&D Online, D&D Beyond, and the Dungeons and Dragons virtual tabletop. What does this mean? Does this mean what? I don't understand. How are these guys official if they're working on their own? Well, it could be that, it is nowhere near where we think it's ready yet. And it might take a long time for it to be able to do what we want to do. So until then, we're just going to let these guys do it, and we can focus more on the behind the scenes stuff and not have to deal with the public. That could be it. It could simply be as simple as passing the torch to them for now, so they can invest more energy behind the scenes on working at their VTT until they think it's ready. Maybe it's a year-long contract or a 3-year contract. We don't know, but that could be one thing. Or it could be that they're saying, you know what? We can't do it. It just isn't going to work. Don't have the time, don't have the resources, don't have the energy. We just fired a huge chunk of our creativeness. There's other things we'd rather focus that energy on. So for now, we're just done. We're just not going to do a VTT. Let them do it. They've already got it. So it could be that the VTT is D&D is dead in the water, or it could be it's just in holding until they want to revisit it later on. But more importantly, it means the third and final part of this rant. More importantly, it means that yes, there probably is a new agreement, creative content, SRD, OGL, 2024 D&D rules and regulations thing that they had to sign. They had to agree to get the rights to D&D, right? Because otherwise it's like, well, it would, whatever. I don't know. We already had it. We had the 2023 thing. Why do we need to tell people? But now it's official. It's recognized, which means for every dime you spend on Foundry VTT official D&D stuff, Wizards gets 0.00001 of that dime, which accumulates, pretty rapidly when you think about it. Which sounds like, yes, there was a thing. They signed it. They agreed to the new 2024 rules. And it also feels like, well, you know what? We're not going to really invest public energy in our VTT for at least however long the contract is. 3 years, I think, is the general contract for these kind of things. So for the next 3 or 4 years, Foundry can be responsible for Dungeons and Dragons virtual tabletop stuff, as well as the unofficial stuff on, Roll20 and whatever. All the bad press, all the hate, all the anger, all the hypocrisy, all the how dare you, that can all be directed to Foundry. You're fucking up D&D, Foundry. And D&D Digital, Wizards of the Coast Digital, could choose to table their VTT to a possible future, or simply say, we're going to work on it behind the scenes, but we don't want to be public about it. And if and when it's ready in 3 years or however long the contract is between them and Foundry, then we'll bring it up again. But otherwise, there's no reason for Wizards to continue actively working on the VTT if somebody else can do it for them. That's energy they could direct on another project. That's bad press they could now no longer have to deal with because somebody else can deal with it. Make Foundry the scapegoat for all the bad press. All the people who are saying, we hate Wizards and the way they're treating D&D. We hate Wizards and their virtual tabletop. Well, Wizards can just go here. Hate them instead. Hate them instead. And that's just a huge chunk of negative press and negative energy that's now going to be focused on Foundry. So this is a good thing for Wizards. It's a good thing for Foundry. It's a good thing for people who want to do the D&D thing with a company that actually knows what they're doing. And for the people who are angry at the way Wizards is handling digital Dungeons and Dragons, they can be no longer angry at Wizards. They can choose to be angry at Foundry or not. Or they can go, this is what we wanted. Thank you. Please just focus on physical tabletop role-playing game 2024 D&D and abandon this visual shit, or let somebody else do it. So in my feeble imagination, this is a win. This is a win for everybody, at least for today. I see nothing negative in this. Everybody wins. Hasbro wins. Foundry wins. People who actually want to use the VTT win. And people who don't want to use the VTT and never want to see Hasbro continue to fuck it up, they win, because now Hasbro's not responsible anymore. That's somebody else's problem. You guys go angry at them. We don't do it. It's them. Win, 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 win. So maybe all the hubbub yesterday about the selling was a smokescreen so that nobody would pay attention to this. And more importantly, nobody would pay attention to the fact that this kind of confirms the rumor that there is a new OGL Creative Commons SRD rules and regulations that at least these guys agreed to, because we know that if there is a new one, it's probably pretty sinister. If we can just look at whatever they did last year and go, yeah, it's probably going to be something. So focus on that. Don't focus on this stupid story. Don't focus on Jim. Focus on the rumor and the possibility of how sinister the new rules and regulations, Creative Commons, OGL, or whatever they're going to call it, is. That's it. That's all I got. Talk to you later. Stay safe out there. It's raining.